Let me break something to you. Attraction isn't about looks, status, or even charm. It's about strategy. And most men fail because they chase. Instead of creating an irresistible pull, you might think she's out of your league. Or maybe she's already made it clear she's not interested. But here's the truth. Women don't always know what they want until you show them. Yes, even the one who's ignoring your texts or keeping you in the just friend zone can find herself drawn to you, but only if you know how to flip the script. And no, this isn't about manipulation or tricks. It's about understanding how attraction really works. The problem: most men don't understand women at all. They act needy, try too hard, or give up altogether. Newsflash, none of that works. Women are drawn to men who know their worth, not guys who beg for attention or try to prove they're good enough. Here's where it gets controversial. Attraction isn't about convincing her you're the best option. It's about making her realize she doesn't want to lose you. That shift doesn't happen when you're chasing her or catering to her every whim. It happens when you become the man she can't ignore. And yes, this applies even when she says she's not interested. So what's the secret? It starts with flipping your mindset. Stop thinking about her feelings for you and start building your value internally and externally. Women are wired to respond to strength, confidence, and mystery. The moment you start acting like she's the prize, you lose. But when you live like you're the prize, something changes in this video. I'm going to teach you how to attract any woman, even the ones who seem uninterested. This isn't about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about understanding how to position yourself as the man she can't stop thinking about. If you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting, let's get into it. Stop caring about her opinion. The quickest way to lose a woman's interest is by trying too hard to win her approval. Many men fall into this trap, thinking they need to say the right things, act a certain way, or avoid offending her. This approach screams insecurity. Here's the truth. The moment you start caring too much about what she thinks, you give her all the power. And when she has all the power, attraction dies. Women are naturally drawn to men who seem unaffected. Why? Because confidence is irresistible. When you prioritize her opinion over your own, you send the message that you value her more than yourself. That's not attractive, it's weak. You need to flip the script. Instead of worrying about what she thinks, focus on being the best version of yourself. You'll be surprised how her perception changes when you stop chasing validation. Now, this doesn't mean being rude or dismissive. It's about detaching emotionally from her approval. For example, if you're on a date, don't overanalyze her every reaction. If she laughs, great. If she doesn't, don't panic. Be comfortable enough in your skin that her response, or lack of it, doesn't affect your mood. Here's a practical example. Imagine you're texting her and she suddenly stops replying. The average guy would double text, overthink, or ask if he did something wrong. Instead, you send your message and carry on with your day. Maybe she replies 2 hours later saying, "Sorry, I was busy." Your response: "No worries, I figured you'd get back when you could." Then you switch topics or even end the conversation on your terms. Here's what happens. You show her that you're not desperate for her time or attention. You're signaling that while you enjoy her company, you don't depend on it for your happiness. This subtle shift makes her wonder why you're so composed and self-assured. When you stop caring about her opinion, you become a man who is harder to impress. Women are drawn to the challenge, instead of bending over backward for her approval. Stay grounded when you stop trying to win her over. You might find she starts working harder to win you. 2. Focus on your own value. If you want to attract any woman, even one who seems uninterested, you need to shift the spotlight from her to yourself. Most men make the mistake of investing all their energy into impressing the woman instead of improving their own value. Here's the hard truth. A woman won't value you if you don't first value yourself. Focusing on your own value means becoming the kind of man who is naturally attractive. This doesn't mean faking confidence or trying to look perfect. It's about developing yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally to the point where you stand out without even trying. When you prioritize yourself, you become the man who doesn't need to chase women. Notice that too many men fixate on what she wants, instead of asking, what do I bring to the table? Are you building a career or just getting by? Do you have hobbies and passions? Or is your life dull without her? Are you working on your fitness? Or do you just talk about getting in shape? A high-value man focuses on growing every area of his life. When you level up, her interest comes naturally. Here's a practical example. Let's say you're interested in a woman who seems distant. Instead of texting her all day or trying to force plan, you start hitting the gym after work. You focus on eating better, dressing sharper, and becoming the best version of yourself. You also pick up a new skill, like learning a language or taking a photography class. A few weeks later, she notices your changes. Maybe you post a photo of your progress or mention your new hobby. In passing, she starts asking questions. You've been busy lately, huh? What's new? She's intrigued because you're no longer waiting around for her. You're showing her that your life is fulfilling with or without her. Here's the magic when you focus on your value. You flip the dynamic. She begins to see you as someone worth investing her time in. You stop chasing her, and instead she starts chasing your energy. A man who works on himself is a man women can't resist. So stop wasting time trying to convince her and invest in yourself. The results will speak louder than words. 3. Don't chase, create mystery. Chasing a woman is the fastest way to push her away. Think about it. How do you feel when someone constantly hovers around you, desperate for your attention? It's overwhelming, suffocating, and even annoying. Women feel the same way when men chase them. The more you run after her, the more you signal that you don't have options. And that's a turn-off. Now let's flip the script. Instead of chasing, focus on creating mystery. Women are naturally drawn to what they can't easily figure out. If you're always available, always texting first, or always eager to meet up, there's no challenge. She already knows where you stand, and the excitement fades. Creating mystery doesn't mean playing games or being dishonest. It's about holding back just enough to keep her intrigued. Stop oversharing your every thought and move. If she asks about your day, don't give her a detailed breakdown of your schedule. Keep it simple but intriguing. It's been an interesting day. I'll tell you about it sometime. That's it. Now she's curious and thinking about you. Another way to create mystery is to have a life that doesn't revolve around her. Spend time with your friends, dive into your hobbies, and stay busy. When she sees that you're not always available, She starts wondering, what's he doing? Who's he with? Suddenly, you're not predictable anymore, and she's paying closer attention. The beauty of mystery is that it leaves room for imagination. When you're not constantly explaining yourself or seeking her approval, she starts filling in the blanks, and usually in your favor. She'll think about you more because there's a sense of the unknown. Men often forget that attraction isn't just about what's seen or said. It's also about what's felt. When you stop chasing and create mystery, you trigger emotions in her that she can't ignore. She starts to feel the pull of wanting to know more about you. Remember, women are drawn to men who are secure in themselves and don't need to constantly prove their worth. So stop chasing. Instead, make her chase the chance to understand you. That's how you stand out, or master the art of silence. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Silence is a tool that most men overlook when it comes to attraction. It's not just about what you say, but also about how and when you choose to say it or not say it. Here's the problem: most men talk too much. They try to fill every gap in a conversation, explain themselves endlessly, or bombard her with messages when she's being quiet. This overcommunication doesn't make you seem confident. It makes you seem desperate. Women notice when a man is uncomfortable with silence, and it signals insecurity. Silence, on the other hand, speaks volumes. It shows patience, composure, and self-assurance. A man who can handle silence without scrambling to fill it is a man who radiates confidence. Women interpret this as strength because it suggests you're not afraid to let things unfold naturally. For example, if a woman seems distant or doesn't reply to your message right away, your instinct might be to follow up or ask what's wrong. Don't let the silence work for you. When you stop reacting, immediately she starts wondering what's going on in your head. The curiosity can lead to attraction because she's now thinking about you instead of the other way around. Silence is also incredibly powerful during disagreements or tense moments. Instead of rushing to defend yourself or explain, let her words sit for a moment. This pause not only diffuses tension, but also forces her to reflect on what she said. Most importantly, it shows you're not easily rattled. The art of silence extends beyond just words. It's also about presence. You don't always need to entertain her or keep the energy high. A quiet moment together where neither of you feels the need to speak can be deeply intimate. That kind of connection is rare and memorable. Ultimately, mastering silence is about showing that you're comfortable in your own skin. You're not seeking approval or trying to fill empty spaces for the sake of it. Women notice this. It's a subtle yet powerful way to communicate that you're in control, not just of the situation, but of yourself. 5. Trigger her curiosity. Most men make it way too easy for women to figure them out. They lay all their cards on the table within the first few conversations, their interests, their intentions, and sometimes their entire life story. Let me be blunt, this kills attraction. When you reveal everything up front, there's no room for mystery, and without mystery there's no curiosity. Here's where most men go wrong. They think being an open book makes them more relatable or likable. The truth, it just makes them boring. Women are naturally drawn to what they can't completely understand. If you're predictable and overly transparent, you give her nothing to think about. She stops wondering about you, and that spark fades before it even starts. Men, wake up. If you're the guy who constantly texts, "What are you doing?" or updates her on every little detail of your day, you're doing it wrong. You need to create space for curiosity to grow. Instead of answering every question directly or sharing your plans in full, leave some gaps, let her imagination do the work. For example, if she asks, "What are you up to this weekend?" don't lay out your itinerary like a tour guide. A simple "got a few interesting things planned, I'll let you know how it goes" is enough. This keeps her intrigued and wondering about your life. Here's the reality. Curiosity is what keeps people hooked. Think about the movies or books that grab your attention. It's the twists, the unknowns, and the surprises that keep you engaged. Attraction works the same way. If she can't fully predict you, she'll want to dig deeper to understand you. But let's be clear, triggering curiosity doesn't mean being evasive or playing mind games. It's about maintaining an air of unpredictability while staying authentic. You don't have to fake anything. Just stop oversharing and trying to impress her with details. She didn't even ask for when you trigger her curiosity. You shift the focus. Instead of you constantly thinking about her, she starts thinking about you. And that's the key, so stop giving away everything for free. Be a little mysterious. Make her work to figure you out. That's how you keep her interested in coming back for more. 6. Build emotional tension. Attraction isn't just about physical chemistry. It's about emotional tension. This is the invisible thread that keeps a woman thinking about you, even when you're not around. The problem is most men fail to create this tension because they don't understand how to engage a woman emotionally. They rely on surface-level conversations and predictable behavior, which might be safe but is also forgettable. Let me tell you something. Women don't fall for men who play it safe. If all your interactions are bland, overly polite, or just nice, you're missing the point. Emotional tension comes from creating a dynamic that keeps her engaged, intrigued, and occasionally off balance in a good way. This isn't about being rude or manipulative. It's about breaking the monotony and making her feel something she can't ignore. Too many men avoid risks in conversations or interactions because they fear rejection or awkwardness. But here's the truth. If she feels nothing when she's with you, she'll move on. Emotional tension is about pushing boundaries, just enough to spark a reaction. Maybe it's teasing her about something minor, or confidently disagreeing with her opinion. It's those little moments of friction, mixed with playfulness, that keep things interesting. Another key to building tension is pacing. Don't rush to resolve every moment of silence or tension in the conversation. Let it sit for a second. That pause can be powerful because it forces her to process what just happened. It makes her wonder about your thoughts or your next move. And in that wondering, attraction grows. Here's where most men miss the mark. They think women only want to feel happy or entertained. But the truth is, attraction is about experiencing a full range of emotions. By challenging her, surprising her, or even making her a little nervous in a playful way, you create depth. She won't just remember how you made her laugh. She'll remember how you made her feel. Building emotional tension takes confidence and practice. But it's worth it when a woman feels emotionally drawn to you. She won't be able to ignore you. So stop being predictable. Be bold, be engaging. And most importantly, be someone who can spark real feelings. That's how you stand out. 7. Set boundaries and stick to them. One of the biggest mistakes men make is failing to set boundaries. They bend over backwards to please a woman, even at the expense of their own comfort, time, or values. Guess what? That doesn't make you attractive. It makes you a pushover. Women don't respect men who can't stand up for themselves. And without respect, there's no attraction. Setting boundaries is about knowing your worth. And refusing to compromise it, it means understanding what you will and won't tolerate. Not just in relationships, but in life. If you allow a woman to walk all over you, she'll lose interest faster than you can imagine. Why? Because she wants a partner, not a doormat. Here's the thing. Boundaries aren't just about saying no to her. They're about saying yes to yourself. They show that you have self-respect and a life of your own. Whether it's about how much time you're willing to give, what kind of behavior you'll accept, or how you expect to be treated. Boundaries make it clear that you're not desperate for her approval. Here's a practical example. Imagine you're talking to a woman you're interested in, and she makes a habit of canceling plans at the last minute. The average guy would let it slide, hoping she'll eventually take him seriously. But a man with boundaries won't tolerate being treated as an afterthought. The next time she cancels, you calmly let her know how you feel. I get that things come up. But if you're not sure you can make plans, let's not commit until you are. This isn't about being confrontational. It's about standing up for yourself. You're letting her know that your time is valuable and that you won't allow it to be wasted. Here's what happens. She either respects your boundaries and adjusts her behavior, or she doesn't and you walk away. Either way, you've shown her that you're a man who values himself. And that's incredibly attractive. When you set boundaries and stick to them, you show that you're not afraid to lose her. Ironically, this makes you more appealing, because she sees you as a man who's in control of his life. Show, don't tell your confidence. Confidence is one of the most attractive traits you can possess. But here's where most men go wrong. They try to tell people how confident they are instead of just showing it. There's a massive difference between talking about how great you are and actually embodying it. The truth is, women don't care about your self-proclaimed confidence. They care about what they feel when they're around you. Think about the men you've seen who exude true confidence. They don't brag, they don't need to explain themselves, and they don't need constant validation. They just are. Their presence fills the room without them saying a word. They stand tall, speak clearly, and move with purpose. That's the kind of confidence that draws people in. The key here is that confidence isn't something you can fake. It's something that has to come from within. It's not about constantly showing off or trying to impress others. Confidence is quiet. It's knowing you have value without needing to prove it. When you're truly confident, you don't worry about how others perceive you, because you already know your worth. But here's the problem. Too many men confuse arrogance with confidence. Arrogance is loud, obnoxious, and always seeking approval. It's a mask for insecurity. Confidence, on the other hand, doesn't need to scream for attention. It doesn't need to tell people how great you are. It simply is. Real confidence comes from being comfortable in your own skin, regardless of external validation. When you're confident, you're not afraid to be yourself. You're not chasing anyone's approval because you don't need it. This makes you stand out in a world full of people who are constantly trying to prove themselves. Confidence also isn't just about how you speak or act. It's about your energy. It's in the way you listen, how you carry yourself, and how you interact with others. When you show confidence, you automatically communicate that you're a man who values himself. And that's incredibly magnetic. So stop trying to prove you're confident. Just be confident and let your actions and presence do the talking. When you stop chasing validation and focus on being secure in who you are, women will be drawn to you without you having to say a word. A 9, stop trying to be her perfect guy. One of the biggest traps men fall into is the idea that they need to be the perfect guy to win a woman's interest. You know, the type, the one who's always doing the right thing, saying the right words, and being everything she could possibly want. But here's the hard truth. Being perfect is not only impossible, it's unattractive. Women don't want perfection. They want authenticity, realness, and a man who is comfortable in his own skin. Let's be honest, nobody is perfect. The sooner you accept this, the better. Trying to present yourself as flawless is exhausting. And eventually it shows. Women can sense when you're putting on a facade. And it doesn't make you look good. It makes you look insecure and fake. So if you're trying to be the guy who says all the right things, acts exactly how you think she wants, or bends over backward to please her, stop. You're not being authentic, and that's the quickest way to lose her. Here's the reality: being real and unapologetically yourself is what attracts women the most. You don't need to have all the answers or be the perfect gentleman all the time. What matters is that you are genuine and comfortable with who you are. You're not trying to mold yourself into someone you think she wants. You're showing her who you truly are. Flaws and all. Stop worrying about being her idea of perfection. You'll never measure up to that unrealistic standard. And even if you did, it wouldn't bring you the real connection you're looking for. Women don't fall for the guy who's trying too hard. They fall for the guy who's confident enough to be himself. Even if he's not perfect, the key is to focus on being your best self, not a version of someone else. When you let go of the pressure to be perfect, you allow your true personality to shine. Women respect men who are comfortable with their flaws, because it shows they've got nothing to hide. They're not trying to impress. They're just being real, and that's what attracts women. So stop trying to be her perfect guy. Be your own version of amazing. Stop faking it and start being the man who's proud of who he is. Imperfections and all, that's how you win her over. The scene. Be willing to walk away. This is where most men fail. And it's the most powerful thing you can do. If you want to truly attract a woman, be willing to walk away. Sounds harsh, right? But hear me out. The reality is, when you're too invested or too attached to the outcome of any situation with a woman, you give up all your power. Women sense desperation, and trust me, it's not attractive the strongest. Most attractive men are the ones who understand that their value isn't dependent on any one person's approval or attention. If a woman isn't showing you the respect, effort, or interest you deserve, you need to be prepared to walk away. This doesn't mean playing games or being rude. It means you're comfortable enough with yourself to know that your time is valuable and that you're not going to waste it on someone who isn't as invested as you are. Here's the thing, too. Many men are afraid to walk away because they don't want to lose the woman. They're afraid of rejection or being alone. But the truth is, when you're afraid to walk away, You're not standing in your own power. You're standing in fear, and that fear makes you look weak. Now imagine the opposite. You've got a woman who's maybe not giving you the attention you deserve. Or she's not investing in the relationship the way you are. Instead of chasing her or pleading for her to notice you, you simply step back. You stop trying to convince her of your worth. You don't chase her and you don't beg. You walk away. This shift in behavior is incredibly powerful. It shows her that you're not afraid to lose her, and that you're strong enough to put your own value first. Women are drawn to men who aren't desperate. They respect men who have the self-discipline to walk away when the situation isn't right. When you're willing to walk away, you give her the space to either step up and meet you halfway, or to let you go either way. You win if she comes back after you walk away. It's because she realizes your worth. And if she doesn't, you've just saved yourself from wasting more time on someone who wasn't right for you. So stop chasing, stop compromising. Be ready to walk away when necessary. And you'll find that women will start chasing you. Let's end this with the most important truth you need to hear. Attraction is not about chasing her. It's about becoming a man she wants to chase. If you take anything from this video, let it be this: your value isn't determined by her interest in you. It's determined by how you carry yourself, the standards you set, and the confidence you embody. The moment you stop prioritizing her over your own self-respect, everything changes. Here's the controversial part. If you feel like you have to work overtime to earn her attention, she's not the problem, you are. That's right. It's not about her playing hard to get or being too high maintenance. It's about you failing to realize your own worth. Stop making her the prize. The real prize is becoming the man who doesn't need to beg for anyone's time or affection. Now I want to hear from you. Have you been in situations where you felt like you were chasing a woman who didn't deserve it? Share your stories in the comments. Let's build a conversation around this, because I'll be reading every comment, and I might even reach out to connect with you personally. Let's grow together. Thanks for watching, and as usual, this is the Stoic approach to life.